Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. I always find that corny. um, so today, what I wanted to do with this video is to kind of create candid conversations with people who are watching my channel, and kind of create, I don't know, some form of realness with people. I didn't want my channel to be highly superficial. My hope, even initially in starting it, was for it to have some form of depth, and for it to kind of show me holistically as I journey through life. So this has been a long time coming. There was another, I keep saying a lot. Um, so I hope that's something I can fix. But there have been many, many things that I've wanted to do, right? I don't know what the title of this video will end up being. But I wanted to kind of create short snippets of who I am. And one of the parts is navigating fear. I've been a very I've always ended up being a very fearful person, and in a sense that I've always had a fear of chasing things that I wanted in life. That this year was kind of a year for me to kind of move in a spirit of courage, and that's overly spiritualized, an overly spiritual way of saying, like, I think I got fed up with being afraid. That I really wanted this year to be a year that I kind of broke out of that space. And it's very interesting, in the time that it happened. Like, there's so many things that are causing fear in many people's lives in the time that we are living in, which is it's very interesting that the Lord willed that all of this would happen kind of in a season where in many ways I'd be driven more to fear, driven more into a space of complacency, but really just seeing the need to kind of push beyond that. So that's kind of the conversation, things that I've been navigating through. And I kind of want my channel to kind of showcase the realness of life. I think we are all in many ways searching for something that is real, in some ways. So I just wanted to kind of to be that space of relating, and just as hopefully in some ways inspire and encourage you guys, that even in the midst of all that is happening, in the many ways that we can grow complacent, in the many ways that we can, I think, like, I felt it. I kind of felt the days becoming, like, time being something that is relative in a lot of ways, and like life being just one big day, in like not, what are the words, like, kind of not keeping track, right? Like, it's a Monday, it's a Wednesday, who knows? Who knows in life which day it is? But really, even in the midst of all that is happening, just trying, I've seen the need for myself to try and break beyond that in many ways, even in creating this channel again. So this might be an introduction to the channel again, kind of a refreshed version of it. And yeah, that kind of reflects where I am right now. Many of you kind of started out with me when I started this channel maybe 2 years ago. I put out a few videos and fear took control of me. And I kind of stopped, but I kind of have, I'm at a space now when I just don't want to be controlled by emotions, right? I want to choose where my life ends up, where I end up. That I'm trying in small ways and in big ways to kind of do things that seem horrifying to me. And this has been one of those. YouTube has kind of been a space for that. That I've always wanted to be, to have a platform to share my creativity, which in turn is kind of essentially sharing yourself. So even in the midst of sharing the creative part, I wanted it to have depth. So this is kind of that. I hope that let's all just be challenged. I think this time is scary in a lot of ways. Initially, it was the fear of, could it be me? Could I end up with COVID? Which I don't think I can say on YouTube. But that was the initial fear, the fear of catching it, right? And now it's kind of been a fear of the new normal, right? The new normal that we kind of, I at least see it that way. It's like this fear of like this new normal that is being created. And I think there's a fear of like detaching what was our original norm and kind of taking on what is the current norm of the society that we live in. So I think that is scary. That is scary because I think we all in many ways want control, right? And we all fear the things that we cannot control. And this is a space where we can't control a lot of what is happening. We cannot control what the government says are means to keep everybody safe. We cannot control the things that we do, right? In many ways, like on a global standpoint, we do not have control, right? Which is a real reality and a real fear. But in many ways, there are things that we still do have control over. I did this class called Boundaries at my church. And it was more based on like, there are things that I can control within myself and there are things outside of me that I cannot control. And that's like kind of the relationships I have with people. This is everywhere. I hope there's some cohesiveness in what I'm saying. But like, we cannot control things. I cannot control people's emotions towards me, but I can control mine and I can control the spaces that are within my personal control. Right? And it's kind of the same thing. Like, I cannot control what is happening in the world. I cannot control when the cure comes. I cannot control the anxieties that I see in other people. I cannot control the grief people feel in the sense of losing. Like, we are losing a lot, right? We're losing normality. We're losing simplicity. We are losing like the simplicity of what life was, right? And it was simple because it was like a pattern that had become normal. And there's a season of change that we are all experiencing. But I think there are two encouragements in this time. It's like, the first one is like, I can control me, right? I can control my emotions. I can control how I feel about the situation. That doesn't necessarily make it easy, but there is some level of control that we do have. And that has been my thing. Like, it is scary. There's a lot that is happening. There's a lot of things that we don't understand, but I can control what controls me. And that for me has been fear. So yeah, that's like one of the biggest encouragements. So the question is now, like, in your life, what are things that you can look at and in the midst of this, control, right? Whether that is even simple things as rest. Like, I think there's always initially there was this push on like, be productive, do things. But how can I be best taking care of myself holistically? And even seasons of rest are necessary in the midst of like navigating feelings. And that is something that is also equally as necessary as creating change. Even for me to get to this point where there's been this fight for change, there was a moment for me to sit and rest in the fact that these are the issues, these are the reasons for not progressing in the ways that I'd like to, right? And in sitting that, there's a conclusion that comes of like, yo, Sam, what can you do? Okay, start with small things. This is one thing that you can do that is within your control. Try small. This is a space like YouTube is something that you've wanted to do. Here's an opportunity. There is somewhat space for time, and that differs for everybody. Some of us still have full-time jobs. I still have a full-time job, but there's opportunity to create a space. So that's really one big point in kind of where we are at. Like, you in many ways have control, even though you don't have control. And then the second thing has been, we've heard in many ways like this need to, okay, even with what is happening globally, it's like it has pulled us together and has shown how connected we are as people, right? And there's been this push for social distancing, which is of course necessary. And I'm not speaking against that, but I think even in with where we are at, and in the way that I've seen helpful in managing fear has been creating spaces. Create a pocket for yourself where it feels safe. In many ways, like, I didn't announce like the restart of this channel to everybody within my community, but kind of people that were safe for me, to kind of share myself honestly and genuinely. So I think that is another way, in the midst of all that is happening, create spaces of safety. This is a great opportunity to reconnect with people, create friend circles that are tighter knit. And even like the reality of it, like, we don't have the luxury of being entertained outside of conversations, right? That's the only way to maintain friendships. I can't go out to a movie with a friend. All I can do is sit and talk about me. So this is a great opportunity to kind of build community for yourself, and yeah, like, I think be encouraged. I feel like it is a scary time that we live in, like, in many ways, but there is great opportunity for growth in our lives. There's great opportunity to be challenged. So that's one thing I hope. It's a long rant. It seems very all over the place. I don't know how to consolidate my thoughts, but rest, stay connected, and do what is necessary for your growth. Even in this time, we still do have control. I think that is the overall essence of what I'm saying. I hope you guys are keeping safe again, and loving on people around you, and dealing in a way that is healthy in the times that we live in. And I think I'll end it there. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope it's not long, and I'll leave it there. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.